Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. Ever since Redmi Note 7 Pro came out, the number one video that I have been wanting to make is the low light photography test. I did not want to rush into anything, that's why I took my time, and today finally let's talk about the low light photos from Redmi Note 7 Pro. Without wasting any more time, let's begin. First up, let's talk about the camera hardware. On the rear side, there are a couple of cameras. The primary sensor is the 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 with an aperture of f1.8. The secondary one is a 5 megapixel depth sensor. When it comes to low light photos from the rear camera, Redmi Note 7 Pro actually does a very good job. The photos have a good amount of exposure in them, the colors don't pop out too much nor are they on the muted side, which is a very good thing. So the saturation level is just on point and the colors feel very natural, which I particularly like. The detail level is also decent enough for a phone in this price segment. Even the dynamic range is decent enough when it comes to low light photography. Now, if you're thinking that the 48 megapixel sensor does wonders in terms of low light photography, then sorry to burst your bubble, but that's nowhere near the truth. One would expect the 48 megapixel sensor to produce high quality images in low lighting conditions, but I actually did not notice any major difference between the normal 12 megapixel mode and the high quality 48 megapixel mode. With that being said, what really helps this phone perform so good in terms of low light photography is the night mode. So night mode takes a couple of extra seconds to process the image, but boy are those couple of extra seconds worth it. I ended up clicking 90% of the photos in low lighting conditions using the night mode itself. Night mode also reduces the noise in the images, which is awesome. Now it is not as good as night sight on Pixel 3, but having a dedicated night mode at this price segment is kind of awesome. One more place where I was surprised is in terms of portrait mode. Xiaomi seem to have improved their image processing algorithm quite a bit because portrait mode actually works decently in terms of low light as well. So that gets a thumbs up from my side. Now one more advantage with Redmi Note 7 Pro is the dedicated Pro mode. So if you can use Pro controls like shutter speed, ISO, white balance and all that stuff, then you can get some pretty good long exposure shots from this phone, and that is always a handy feature when it comes to low light photography. So that was the rear camera. Now let's talk about the front camera. So the front camera on the Note 7 Pro is a 13 megapixel sensor and it also performs really good in terms of low lighting conditions. Like it doesn't do wonders like the Samsung Galaxy S10 or maybe like the Pixel 3 or iPhone XS or something like that. But for this price segment, it is definitely one of the best selfie cameras out there. So overall, when it comes to cameras, Redmi Note 7 Pro is actually a pretty good phone, and I'm glad that Xiaomi has shifted their attention to the cameras because that's one of the most important things in today's modern world. So if you were worried about the low light photography of Redmi Note 7 Pro, then let me tell you, there's nothing to worry about. It's a great phone and you can go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this video helped you out in some way or the other, and if it did, then please let me know about that in the comment section down below. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel because it would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one.